Some teachers are probably quite nervous at parent interviews, but I think if we give them the tools to create the conversations, to empower them to know what they're talking about, and to give parents decent feedback, based on something, I think that's a really important step. And for us using Brightpath, we actually decided to create a report that went home, different from the report on Brightpath slightly. We added more information and teaching points for parents, and at the bottom the kids actually designed their own goals for the first time. That was quite a struggle for the students, and it led us to realise we need further work in goal setting. But by sending that home with a copy of the work, it opened up the door for parents to come in and say, okay, I want to know more about this. You've sent this sample home. What does that mean? So the first time we did it, I had many people knock on my door as literacy specialists saying, that's really valuable. I really value having that piece of work and knowing where to go. But is that sample normal for that age or for that year? So we fine-tuned it next time and actually added what would be expected for a C grade, and we added the student's number. And that was a brilliant step, because I then put on a workshop for parents and we used the rulers and we talked about what Brightpath was, and they actually said, wow, I didn't realise my students were either so behind or so advanced, especially in the upper years, because parents don't visit classes. They don't come in and see what kids are doing. So if we don't tell them, look, this is what is a good piece of work, in the case for us a narrative, and this is where your child is, how do they know how they can help them at home? So, we may have only had perhaps 20 or 30 parents truly engage, but that's 20 or 30 students that now have a better shot because their parents are on board. So it's been great to open up the door for those conversations, and it eliminates the surprise at report time. Parents, we now have that feedback in term 1 and term 3. We can say, are they progressing or are they not progressing? We can talk about the reasons why. Is the child been away? Have they been ill? Is there behaviour problems? Or is this child just stagnated at that spot? And what can we do to move them forward? So that's been really valuable. I have given out my email to parents in terms of talking about the Brightpath, and the feedback's been really positive. They feel that they can now that they're aware of what we're moving the children towards, they feel like they can help that at home. So I have parents come in and say, look, could you support me on helping to understand what that means and what I could work on at home? We do recounts with the younger kids and narratives at the moment with the older students. So it's creating an understanding for them.